Good morning. It's Alli Deshotel with Martin Home Team. I'm here with my friend Michelle Castle of Guild Morgan. This is our Feature Friday, and the purpose is we just want to share some homes in our local market with you guys, and we just want to talk about that it's possible right now in this market. I know everyone has a thought, has an opinion about what's going on in the market. We just want to bring some truth to that. We want to give you guys some true data. We don't want to leave you hanging in the drama. We want to give you true data. So Michelle joins me on Friday. We feature a local listing and just talk through some what's possible with a home in this particular price range. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Y'all, I am on the fly this morning, so I apologize for video quality. I'm burning up the roads like we do as realtors. So if I am dragging just a tad, I apologize, but Michelle's going to keep me on track here. But this morning, just briefly wanted to look at 341 Spring Valley Drive in Denison. This listing is presented by Stephanie Beatty with Fathom Realty. Michelle, I wanted to bring this to you because it's $350,000. So I feel like that is a good, affordable price range. So wanted to talk to you about, just some options as we scroll through and look at this great home that Stephanie's presented here.
In this home, gosh, it looks like it's got plenty of room, regardless of the size of the family, for everybody to be together in all of this great open space. And just to remind people, listen, sometimes I bought and sold a lot of houses, and there's times where I'll buy a house and fix it up as I go, personalize it, make it my own. And then other times where you really want to do some remodel before you move in, and both options are possible. So, to each his own. I mean, this is a neat, clean, open floor plan. Looks like easy living. Check out that fireplace wall. Isn't that fun?
Yes, not fun. Yes. I love that it's just really, you kind of got a clean slate. So it's perfect the way that it is. Or again, if you wanted to personalize it and make it your own as you live in it and figure out what that needs to be for you and your family, it's great. Or if you have a more creative brain and a more, exactly what you want it to be, then there's the option of like you said, Michelle, you can roll all of those improvements into the original loan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then, I'm even looking at that backyard. The location of this house is fabulous because it's so closely related to, schools in both directions. The high school's down the road, the middle school's the other direction down the road. Your elementary school's just right down the road. Shopping, highway for commuting. I mean, good gosh, you talk about a great location. This is it. Love it.
And I heard you say you were looking at the backyard, and I know what you were thinking when you were thinking about that backyard. You were thinking water. You're thinking water.
Swimming pool. Well, and the other thing too is, I just really, new construction is fun. New is always, I've never bought a brand new house. I've always done pre-owned. But there's just something about being in a neighborhood with established trees. That's what I was looking at too, is the trees. There's even a temperature difference. When you're 110 degrees outside, if you go into a neighborhood that's got a lot of grass and trees, it is a total different temperature than it is, where you're somewhere where there's no trees and a lot of concrete. So that was the other thing that I was noticing on that one.
True.
Yeah. You want to talk numbers?
So tell us, Michelle, like if I have a client and they're looking at whether it's this house or another home in this 350 price range, and they're pretty comfortable with that, but they just want to know what some options would be. What would that look like?
Oh, there's a bazillion different ways to finance a piece of property. So, one of the things that we hear so often are people are just so wrapped up in interest rates. And it is not all about the rates. The lowest rate does not save you the most amount of money. There's so many ways to save money. But of course, people's first thoughts are, well, the lowest payment is going to be the lowest rate. untrue because and I'm going to show you a couple of different things right now to look at or consider,
Yes.
even ask questions when you're talking to a loan officer. If they don't know the answer to questions, they're not familiar, call me. But in this particular scenario, one of the things that we're hearing a lot is, I'm concerned rates are going to go down later and I'll just wait to buy. Well, I can show you it. And I think, Alli, next week, maybe we talk about the cost of waiting, because there is a cost associated with waiting. If you're waiting for the rates to drop, you will cost yourself more money and the cost of the home waiting on the rate. So, you know, we keep hearing, and I keep seeing all over internet from loan officers posting all over the United States, and I did it too. And it kind of even sounds a little silly, but date the rate, marry the house. I mean, at the end of the day, the house is what you're there for. Yeah.
Right.
But the rate is temporary, or the rate can be temporary if that's what you choose. And so I was going to just show you a strategy that I was thinking the other day. You could buy the house, buy the rate down where you're comfortable with the interest rate. And just know interest rates are based on risk, just like insurance premiums are based on risk. So not every, Alli, your interest rate would be different than my interest rate if we were looking at buying a house, because you and I are different people. We have different credit profiles. We have different loan structures and strategies. So rates are variable based on the very specific situation of every customer.
So many different parameters. Yeah, for sure.
So many different parameters. So, but in this scenario, my thoughts were, okay, if you go ahead and don't want to worry about refinancing later, so you want to go ahead and get into the house with a payment that is comfortable for you, knowing that the gift that we were given for 2 years with exceptionally low rate is because the economy was on its, you know what. So we offered those low rates to keep the economy going, just like we issued the stimulus checks. It was a stimulus rate that we were all receiving the last 2 years. It was not a normal rate. We are back to normal.
No, definitely not a normal time.
We are not getting stimulus checks anymore, and we're not getting stimulus interest rates anymore. Those days are gone. And now we saved so much money for people, and we gave them so many opportunities to skip payments under the forbearance, provisions that were issued, and we gave them stimulus money. People were spending, and now we got an inflation issue. So now we're back to the opposite direction. Rates are up, but that doesn't mean you have to pay a high rate just because the rates are up. Buy your rate down. So I wanted to show you, could look at that, or you could do another strategy and go, hey, you know what? I'm going to hang on to my money. And I'm just going to buy the house. I can afford the payment. I don't love the payment, but I can afford the payment. I love the house. I love the location. So I'm going to buy this one right now. And I'm just going to take that higher rate. And then when the rates drop, I'm going to refinance. So I'm going to show you both of those strategies real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Let's look at that real quick.
Yeah. And then we'll just wrap it up with some good old numbers. So if you were to go ahead and decide, all right, I'm just going to buy the house like it is. I'm not going to roll in any cost for any kind of repairs or improvements or any paint or flooring. And frankly, this house is move-in ready. It looks like where it's at. So you're just going to borrow money based on the sales price of $350. Now the payment on something like that is going to run you with taxes and insurance. Now remember, Texas taxes are high, and so is insurance. So a payment on something like that's going to be about $2,500. Right. Your out of pocket's going to be about $44,000 by the time you do 10% down, plus the closing costs, taxes and insurance, and buying down that rate. So you don't have to worry about refinancing later. All right. So $2,500, $44,000 out of pocket with 10% down. You don't have to have 10% down. I'm just using this as a scenario.
Yeah, just one scenario.
Yeah, you can do it with 3% down. In some cases, you can do it with 0 down. That's another conversation. The other option.
That's another Friday.
That's another Friday. The other option is to go ahead and take the higher rate. So if you've got a higher rate, you got a higher payment, obviously. And in this case, it's $282 different, or $252. Can't see that part. $250 difference. So now you have a payment of $2,700. You don't have to worry about refinancing later. But if you chose to take the higher rate, a little bit less out of pocket, little bit higher payment, and then you refinance it later, look, then your payment, if the rates drop down to 4%, you have been paying on the house for a little bit, the house has gone up in value, you get to roll in all the closing costs, so you're not be paying, spending money out of pocket, and you built up enough equity you can afford to roll in the cost, and you're still going to be okay. And you're looking at $2,300 a month. So you make a payment of $2,700 for a year or two, and then when rates drop, you go ahead, you're locked in with the price of that home. You're locked in now by buying it at $350 instead of waiting. And very conservatively, that house in 2 years could be $406. So save yourself the $50,000 and buy it now at a higher interest rate if that's what you choose to do.
Particularly, even, I mean, you know, this is for whether you're a first-time home buyer or maybe just renting. Maybe you're just, you know, found your place yourself in a season of you've been renting. But in this scenario, you just are continue because home prices are continuing to appreciate. I mean, homes are continuing to appreciate. And so you're growing equity even in that period of time. And that's going to be to your benefit down the road for sure.
Absolutely. And then you're in a great location in a great neighborhood with trees and enough for a swimming pool.
That's right. That's right. So,
and I can help you find the money for that too.
Yes. So all kinds of possibilities, which is what we want to talk to you guys about. We just want to talk about home possible. It is possible for you. So if you're looking to find that right home, I'm your girl, Alli Deshotel, Martin Home Team, and Michelle Castle. She's the money girl. She's going to put it all together for us, wrap it up in a bow, and we'll all celebrate whenever you move in.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to check in with us next Friday, because we're going to talk about what does it cost if you do decide to wait. What's the cost to you if you decide to wait? I'm really excited about that one. So I hope you guys all have a great time this weekend. Big plans. All right.
Peace out.
Thanks, Michelle, so much. As always, great information. We appreciate you bringing the numbers.
Absolutely. Have a good day.
See ya. Bye.